What's up, everyone? Welcome to another midweek chat with Jasmine. I'm your host, Jasmine Bryant, your brand visibility coach, helping coaches, network marketers, speakers, and authors to show up as their best selves on camera, my friends, so that you can be visible, boost your brand, and make the money, have the life that you want and that you deserve. And quite honestly, ditch the 9 to 5 job that you really don't want to do anyway. So, with that, I am so pleased to have Nancy Regan join us today. Nancy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, Jasmine. I love you. I've been watching some of your interviews, and they're awesome. Love your personality, very bubbly. Love
Ah,
it.
thank you. I think it's all the pink. Um, but thank you. Nancy is a holistic wellness coach helping women to live from inside out by connecting with nature and rewriting their story. And my handwriting is crap, so hopefully I didn't screw that up.
I'm sure it's better than yours, and you did a great job. And yeah, absolutely. And working women, helping women, professional women work through before they burn out. Taking time for themselves, connecting with who they are, so they don't get to that point, which I did. So learned a bad lesson, but good lesson in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, burnout is real. And
Oh,
in women, I mean, I think we can burn out faster than anything because
mhm.
it's like, oh, I have 80 things to do right
Mhm.
here, but sure, give me these other 100 tasks. I'm
Yes,
on it.
yes,
I
right,
got it.
right.
You know?
Exactly. We think we can do it all, and it's not that we can't. It's just that we forget about ourselves, right? We're
Mhm.
helping everybody else, but not ourselves. And what do they always say with the mask in the airplane,
Yeah.
right? Put that on first, everybody else after. And I'm a living testimonial to that. So my mask is always on first. I can tell you that now. And I have more
Yeah.
energy for everybody else, and I'm actually able to do more for everybody else.
That is amazing. And I love that you said that you can actually do more for
Hmm.
everybody else
Yeah.
because you're taking care of yourself. I mean, they say
Hmm.
you can't fill another cup from an
Yeah.
empty cup.
No.
I mean, these sayings are sayings for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
With
And
that, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
nope, no, I was just going to say, me being a living example, I know other people have burnt out too, but let me tell you, it was an emotional year it was horrible. Okay. I'm not going to say it was just absolutely horrible. Emotional burnout was real. It was not a road that I want anybody to go down to and to have to go through. So that's why trying to help women rewrite, relive, because I feel like it's almost like a learned behavior. It's almost ingrained in us that this is
Mhm.
what women have to do. We have to juggle families and work and volunteering. And like you said, anything else. I have 10 projects on my desk, but sure, I can help you with yours too. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
It's a lot. And I was going to ask you what that looked like for you, like your burnout, because we just do so much.
Hmm. Hmm.
And like I have a friend who she will do everything
Hmm.
for every person in her family, her extended family, and she's exhausted all the
Hmm.
time. She is living exhaustion.
Hmm.
And that for her is now it's her normal state.
Right, right,
And that's not normal, friends. That
right.
is not normal.
No,
You should not be exhausted and burned out all the time.
right. It's affecting your physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And that's where I'm trying to connect women back to that again by living life from the inside out. But going back to my story, so at the young age of 10, I learned to give because I had a mom who was depressed. So I
Mhm.
was her therapist for many years, listening. And then I became an empath because if anybody knows about depression, mood swings are up and down, and
Mhm.
it's really sad. So I had to learn how to sort of navigate the emotions and make sure everything was calm in the household. And then that learned behavior of taking care of somebody else continued my teenage years. I got married in my 20s, so taking care of my family, my kids, and working. I volunteered for 3 different organizations, and I always gave 120%, but not to myself.
Yeah.
And then it finally ended up getting to a point of a year of crying nonstop and emotional. I was an emotional wreck. I don't mind saying it was hell. It was hell. I'd never experienced something like that before. And it was my husband that said, enough is enough. Look what you're doing to yourself. And then I ended up stepping back, reflecting on everything I've been doing. And I am all about service, believe me, all about that, but service to yourself first. And that's what I learned. I hired a personal trainer, started eating nutritionally well, started reading books on self-care. And then I got projected into this wonderful career and this opportunity to work in a holistic wellness for a nurse at a college. And I call her my guru, Diane, she awakened me to this world of spirituality. And I'm like, wait a minute, is this real? Never heard of it, but I'm thinking I'm kind of starting to like this. And so that opened my world, and that sort of completed me. So I started learning about spirituality. I went back to school to become a holistic wellness coach. And now I'm calling myself, as far as living inside out, from the life inside out, is a spirit-inspired, empowering coach. Because I'm very much about the spirit and the spirits inside of us, so we can live in this world of sometimes chaos, and how we can find that balance within that. And everybody's need is different. So you need to find what your need is, because what works for you, Jasmine, may not work for me. So we need to figure that out and see what's going to happen for you. But I am somebody that's lived it and experienced it and can tell you, I definitely don't want you to go down that road, but you definitely can do what you need to do for yourself. Just, reflecting and finding that, okay, I'm on that path and I need to change that and rewrite my story of always giving to everybody else and not filling my own needs and my cup.
Yeah. And you are now becoming someone else's Diane.
Right.
You're helping other women to do what Diane helped you to do, is to find this new, lighter path. And so I imagine that's why, that's how nature kind of comes into play.
Absolutely. So first, I want to say, at a young age, like I said, about when I was 10 and started being my mom's therapist, nature still was my go-to, but I never realized this until I was older. I was a tomboy. I was bike riding, walking in the woods, climbing trees. And that was really my savior, was kept me balanced, because honestly, I was like, doesn't everybody do this for their mom? Like, I didn't know it was not normal. And that actually played into me learning when I was able to reflect back and having that burnout that I had, to look and see, okay, that was not normal. I need to work through that and take care of myself. And how can I work through that? So nature then, and that was like at age 40, became huge. I started implementing that on a regular basis, not just periodically like I did before. Even now, I have a big family reunion this weekend, and I'm like, okay, I need my nature fix. What night can I go hiking after work and be outdoors? So I make sure I always connect with that. And what I want people to understand is that we are nature. We are part of nature. And when we go back to that, what happens is, I'm telling you, immediately your mind calms, your nervous system slows down, starts regulating all those stress hormones, the anxiety, the worry. It's just all balanced. And all of a sudden, it's almost like an enlightening or a freedom just comes to you, and you can start seeing things that you normally wouldn't be able to see. And it's also about being in the present moment, because when you step out, you're in the present moment. It's the same like meditation or yoga or anything. You're in the moment at that time, which we don't do enough of.
Yeah.
We're always doing, but we actually need to just sit and chill, or quiet walk in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not an outdoorsy person. I'm outsidesy.
Yeah.
I'm not really outdoorsy. I'm outsidesy.
No.
But I do love going to the beach. And I mean, that restores me. Just sitting on the sand, and watching the waves and the sea life and all of that, that restored that's my version of nature.
Yeah. And it is nature. That is nature. It's finding what works for you, and it's therapeutic. I call it nature connection, nature therapy. 100%. I actually incorporate that in my business when I'm working with clients to find what works in them, which I just said, right? Your needs may be different from mine, but it still is nature-based, the ocean, and it's transformative.
Oh yeah. If it weren't for Hurricane Helene coming to town, I'd be at the beach
Well, I
on
hope you
Friday
don't get
morning.
hit hard. I hope you're going to be okay.
It'll be fine or it won't. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't control
No,
it. Can't
no,
control Mother
no.
Nature. But yeah, we are getting a direct hit apparently. So we'll see.
Oh, ooh,
We'll see. But again, it is what you
it
can't control
is.
Mother Nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's been like a powerful shift that you've seen in your clients? I mean, you've had a great powerful shift in your own life,
Mm-hmm.
but what else have you seen like with the women that you work with?
Mm-hmm. So when I end up connecting with many women, I'm going to use one woman, Sharon. So she's a mother of two. She was a business owner. Same thing, giving to everybody else, even not charging enough for her services, right?
Oh.
So yeah, which is, extremely important. We don't realize if that's a reflection on us as far as self-worth, right? Having some issues around that. And so when she came to me, she was burnt out, actually pretty much depressed. She was depressed, exhausted, same thing. She was living in her mind constantly, didn't know how to change things. So when she came to me, we started working on a lot of mindfulness techniques, meditation, breath work. I'm a Reiki practitioner, so I was doing some distant Reiki with her. And also incorporated nutrition, because nutrition is huge.
Yeah.
The gut and mind connection is extremely important. So she started switching her intake of food, what she was eating for food, and then also started getting outdoors walking, started taking some exercise classes. Now that was part of her, settling her nervous system, not just the mindfulness, but the eating and the exercise. But what happened, I just have to say from her, when we were finished with our, weeks working together, she lost 40 pounds. And that was not her goal. But because of her whole change, when you can change your emotions, everything else, if you can get that in check, everything else starts to follow. And just, again, your physical, emotional, spiritual self and well-being starts balancing, and you're finding that wholeness. So from Sharon, she now gives back to herself. She's no longer depressed. She has energy. She's happy. She lives life excited every day. Now, I'm not saying that she doesn't have little bumps in the road. We all have that, including myself, all the work I've done. But you're able to recognize where it's coming from. And it's also probably a message, okay, Nancy, or okay, Sharon, you need to slow down. You need a little bit more time to yourself this week opposed to last week. So give yourself an extra 30 minutes or whatever it is, and to find that. But when you can discover that and reflect on that, you can stop and start listening to your body. What do I need this week or whatever it is at this moment to fill my needs and to make me feel good?
No, I love that. And I love that you were able to do that with Sharon and help her see that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and she can be what she needs to be for everyone else, but also be what she needs to be for herself. One of my old bosses was fond of saying, when I would work, 90 hours a week, Jasmine, there are plenty of indispensable people in the morgue. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotcha.
But it's also that it's never going to happen to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I know that I had. It's not going to happen to me. No, never. But I would say, for a key, if anybody listening out there, is don't listen to up here. Connect with who you are. What do you feel? What's going on within your body? Again, feel exhaustion. Don't feel that what you're eating nutritionally is making you feel good. How's your gut responding to what you're putting into your body? And also your emotions are in your gut. So what's going on as far as, do you have worry, anxiety, stress, depression, anger, frustration, all of those sort of to go through. If you can journal as well, what's happening today? It doesn't even have to be long sentences, just words. What are you feeling today? where are you feeling that within your body? Are you living in your head, or are you feeling something within your body? And then once you write that down and journal it, okay, what can I do? Just choose one of those, because again, we don't need to overwhelm ourselves. Let's choose one. What is the one that is mostly affecting you? And what can I do right at this moment? Maybe it's just pausing, taking a few deep breaths, because that can clear you like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going home, shutting the phone off for a little bit, maybe for 30 minutes or an hour. I know, no, not that. We have to be connected nonstop, 24/7. I know. But I'm going to tell you for myself, on the weekends especially, and in the morning, mostly in the weekend, for at least an hour and a half, I do not turn my phone on. I take my cup of tea. I get up, take my cup of tea, take my 2 old 18-year-old dogs, sit on my deck, no phone, just absolute silence in the neighborhood, calm, quiet. The dogs are happy. I'm happy. And then when you turn the phone on, it's sort of like you're resetting yourself, right?
Yeah.
And just, you can kind of go in it, not get sort of pulled in. We all know how quickly we can get pulled in with all the social media. Once you start, it's just like you are scrolling and responding.
Yes. I mean, someone I'm doing business with sent me an Instagram link this morning when I was getting ready for another event that I did just before this one, other live I did just before this one. And I said, I can't look at it until I'm finished with all of my lives today, because I'm not going to sit here and not do what I need to do, because I go to look at this post that I need to look at for my business.
Yeah.
But then what about the other 90 posts that I'm going to scroll through? I don't need to look at those right now.
Right.
Like, I can do that while I'm at the nail salon.
Right.
That'll be my nail salon activity.
Right. It's like a vacuum. You just start, and it's like you're getting sucked right into it. And it happens to everybody. That's why I just call it disconnection time, right? It's the same thing when you go into nature or meditation. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time, but small breaks throughout the day, just disconnect. And it's just, it will just help you rewire your, thoughts in your mind. And let's face it, I think social media is amazing. There's so many good things out there, but also a lot of us tend to look at things that are just, I call it mindlessness, I guess. Or just, not really soul filling, because I want to look at something that's soul filling. It's going to give me something that I can take maybe and use for that day, or something that's inspirational. It's going to lift me up. But when we get into that, it's just tough. You see that, and it totally changes your mindset. And I hate to say it, but 80% of our thoughts are negative. 80% of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I totally believe that number. I mean, when you think about the number of times in a day that or even just in 10 minutes, that you have something not so nice to say about yourself or someone else or situation, and it just in your mind you don't have to verbalize it, but if you sit there and really think about how many times you do that, it's mind-boggling. Because even like someone like me, I'm a fairly positive, upbeat person. The glass is half full, the sun is always shining, that sort of thing. And even with the hurricane coming, I'm just like, well, it's a hurricane. I'll be fine. But then you think, it's like, oh, well, I just thought something really nasty about something or someone. And then it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. That's not me, because I feel it. Like, I feel it inside, and that stresses me out. And I don't want stress. It gives you gray hair and wrinkles, and why is expensive? And I don't want to start doing Botox, but I mean, if I have to, I will. But I don't want it.
I love the fact that you said stress, because that's exactly what happens. And it's like a recording. So that goes off, and the more you start saying it to yourself, that is just embedded in you. So anytime maybe you have something, another experience or thought that is close to that, that comes right back in, like, oh yeah, remember what you said about yourself? Yeah. And that just stays, and it's that lack, right? And it's all fear-based.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when we can recognize that, and I'm the same as you, bubbly, outgoing, like my glass is like overflowing all the time. But I still have those moments too. And that's when I stop and I'm like, okay, Nancy, you're identifying with the ego, step away. That ego just wants to survive. Don't give it anything to make it survive. Step back, take a couple of breaths, and reset.
Yeah, I love that. Take some steps back, breathe, and start again.
Yeah.
We don't have that much time left. This has gone by
Ooh,
like lickety split.
wow.
Um, I want to talk briefly about authenticity, because that's something that you're very passionate about, that you talk about. And so how do you guide your clients into embracing who they actually are? Because that, for me, like as a brand visibility coach, I'm all about being who you are to attract the folks that you need to attract, and showing up on camera as who you are. So how do you help people recognize who they are and embrace it no matter what?
Right. So it's basically rewriting your story. So we have a story, and that story is following us since childhood for many of us. And that's who we think we are. And I'm going to tell you right now, your story can be written as many times as it needs to, because through your life, you change and hopefully you're progressing. So what to do again is to look at, what are my values today, right now? What are my beliefs today? And when you look at that, look at actually how many of them really represent you today. And if they don't, cross them off that list. And what are new values that represent you today? And it's speaking that truth, which is hard, because we have a hard time speaking that truth because we want to fit in, right? We're social creatures, and humans need that social connection. And because we want to connect, we're afraid to speak our truth. But the more we speak our truth, the more authentic we are. And actually, the more people will actually accept you. And those that don't, then they don't belong in your life.
There you go. I say, love me or leave me alone. Those are
Yes.
your options,
Yes.
because I'm fully cooked at this point.
Right.
But I love that you are giving people permission to rewrite their story, take a look at their values, and your values today may not be the same, the same set. There may not be all the same things that were, 10, 15 years ago. You're allowed to change, you're allowed to evolve. So you guys at home, you have some homework to do. Nancy has given you homework. I don't know if you peeped that. Nancy gave you some homework. She wants you to write down a list. Who are you? Who are you? What do you believe in? And that's going to help you to really tap into the
Right.
true you.
Yeah.
And as business owners, you want to show people who you actually are, because that's what is going to attract your tribe. Otherwise, I mean, you're just screaming into the void, and the voids just suck you in and you never get out. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
It's called freedom. Being authentic is freedom. It's the most liberating thing you can do, right, Jasmine?
I love it. Yes, it really is. I mean, because look, you're the only you that there is. So don't try to be me. Don't try to be Nancy. Don't try to be the influencer you see on TikTok or Instagram. Just be you, because you will be the best damn you ever.
I'd like to say everybody is uniquely beautiful.
There you go. I love it. That is a great place to end. Nancy, you have a gift for the audience. I'm going to pop that in the comments
Yes,
here.
please do.
Tell us about it. This is a map to awaken your inner power.
Yes. And that inner power is all about connecting with your authentic self. So all you need is a pair of walking shoes or hiking boots. Grab those. And it is a 30-minute session on connecting with yourself, a lot of reflection, journaling, some meditation. And please try it. And I'd love your feedback on it. I'm telling you, it works. You don't know me. I'm the most honest person that you're probably going to meet, besides Jasmine. But it works, and it's very liberating. And this is the start of your path on discovering who you are and how you want to live your life.
I love it. I'm going to try it out. I just have to remember to do it. You'll have to remind me to do it, because I have a notoriously bad memory. And I mean, seriously, like squirrels and goldfish have nothing on me and my crappy memory. I mean, that fish, the blue fish from Finding Nemo, Dory, That's me in a pink dress. So
Love
yeah.
the pink dress, though.
Thank you. So Nancy Regan, thank you so much for being with us today. And I hope you guys got some really great insights. I know that I did. Download Nancy's guide and take your walk. It's 30 minutes. You've got 30 minutes to download something that's going to help you to get the weight off your mind and your spirit. And I think it's going to be great. So Nancy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasmine. It's been amazing being here. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Well, I appreciate you. You're welcome anytime. And I'm launching a podcast in 2025. So you'll have to come back. All right, guys. I will see you next week. I'm not quite sure how Friday is going to look with my Friday live because, hashtag Florida hurricane. So we'll see what the power situation looks like. But I hope to be here live. We'll see. But if not, I will see you next week. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, everyone.